Welcome back to the Jupiter Live. I'm your host, Tom Franklin. You might hear somebody out there selling something right now. Let's listen. This is the sounds of Mexico. Anyhow, welcome back to the show. This week we have on Lee Hatfield from S.I.P.A, Canada, and we're going to get into, it's called, I think it's the Scientific Investigation for Paranormal Activity, and he's going to break down what all that means and how he does what he does. He has a great show. He also has a Let's see. He has a podcast as well called S.I.P.A Paranormal Chronicles. It's updated weekly. They just dropped an episode 1 hour ago. Season 1, episode 46, actually from the Paranormal podcast Ghost Gossip. So go over there and check them out. If you keep finding yourself coming back to the Jupiter podcast, thank you very much. First of all, if it's your first time here, thank you as well. I just released an episode over on the members only, and I got 3 new members. So shout out to each and every one of you who wanted to check that out. It's an incredible episode with Mr. Bruce Brown, who used to be a former police officer in Tennessee, and the craziness that goes on. We got cover up, we got hijinks, we got experiences, we got everything over there. Then we're going to fire this up over here so we can see. We have a live chat. Please come and join us in the chat over here, over on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, I invite you to come over to YouTube and come check us out. You can write questions, you can respond, you can talk to people in the chat. I'll pull you up. If you're ever here to promote some things, we'll take care of all of that, and we'll have a good time. Every Friday we have the live show at 6:45. Every Tuesday is a regularly scheduled episodes that come out every week, and and that's pretty much it. All links down below for Lee as well as myself, t-shirts, all that down in the description. So with all the homework out of the way, all the back work we got to do, let's welcome to the show Lee Hatfield.
Hey Tom, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay, man. How's sunny England?
Well, I was in England.
Uh-huh.
I had to go home with some family stuff, but I'm actually in Ottawa, Canada. You're in Mexico. We've got snow, and if you say it's warm there, I'm going to drive down and we're going to have a conversation.
Well, you can have a conversation. I'll bring the beer. You bring the chainsaw, and today our high was 28 degrees, and it will be between 30 and 31 for the rest of the week. Okay, so
where's the off button?
Yeah, you don't know where it is. I don't know why you're on the show. How did you get here? Yeah, Lee, please do me a favor. Introduce yourself to my audience. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and where we can find you, buddy.
Okay, so my name's Lee Hatfield. I'm originally from England. I've been in Canada for 12 years. I've spent most of my life in uniform in one way or another. I started off in the military. I did 6.5 years in the Royal Air Force.
All right, buddy.
And then I decided to change my way of life, and I joined the fire department. I did that for about 12 years, and then that wasn't good enough. I thought, this uniform is too boring. I'm going to wear another one. So I then became a paramedic. Because in the UK, it's completely different services. So, as I said, I came over to Canada 2013. I married the wife who's Canadian 2012. And I was always a skeptic for the longest time. And then I was doing a cardiac arrest as a paramedic in England. And the guy I was working with, he was opposite me while we were doing the CPR and stuff. And he went, "You can stop doing CPR." I went, "What do you mean I can stop doing it?" He goes, "Yeah, the spirit stood behind you telling you can stop." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" He went, "Yeah, oh, by the way, if he's doing the CPR, he goes, yeah, I'm a medium and I can see the spirit behind you and he's saying, no, it's his time and I'm not coming back." And I'm like, well, with all due respect, can you tell the spirit that I've got a job to do?
The spirit is not going to pay my pension.
Exactly. And I just can't stop. And that's what kind of kicked it off for me. I was, like I say, I was a skeptic for the longest time. And I was always like, I'd always brush something off or debunk it whenever I had the chance. And I never really looked into it. But when I came to Canada, I did take over a local group that unfortunately weren't very active. And then 2024, my wife sent me on a a Valentine's night out by myself. She'd bought me a ticket to a ghost walk. So it's like, hang on a minute, I'm trying to say, I'm going to myself. She's staying home, bit of peace and quiet. And then I met up with the two guys that I joined, that we created S.I.P.A with, Logan and Volta. And they brought some gadgets with them. So I kind of latched onto them for the entire evening. And then I said, I think we should meet up and have a chat. So 2 weeks later, we met up in a local bar. S.I.P.A was created that night. We both decided, well, all three of us decided that we wanted to go down the road the correct way, like the kind of the scientific way, debunking all the natural phenomena first.
Okay.
And we all, yeah, that's how we want to do things. And from then on, we've gone from strength to strength. We've been on a couple of radio shows, and yeah, I started the podcast in February of this year, and it's gone from strength to strength.
It's fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and share your screen here. I got a screen to share. This is the podcast, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the logo here. Is this correctly? Did I get the right one?
You did, sir.
Ah, good. And here you go. You can see all the episodes there for your listening pleasure. That way you can enjoy them. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Yeah, that way you can listen to it and see what Lee's all about. And yeah, go ahead and support him any way you can. And so get into it. So S.I.P.A, the Scientific Investigation of Paranormal Activity. So where did you guys just came up with it at the bar, at the pub? The name?
Yeah, pretty much.
Best place, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I walked to that bar, so I knew I could have a few beers, so I was okay with that. Yeah, so we decided that we wanted to make sure that we were taken seriously, and we wanted to make sure that whenever we did an investigation, we did things the right way. So Logan, one of my co-leads, he's got a background in film, so it was his kind of task to deal with all the cameras and the audio and that sort of stuff. And because I wanted to make sure that things were done correctly, I started buying all the diagnostic equipment.
Okay.
So, yeah, most people that are in the knowledge know that you've kind of got two groups. You've got the ghost hunters that want to go out and be scared, and then you've got the investigators that want to try to prove the existence of paranormal.
Right.
So I did a lot of research, and I found out that black mold can cause hallucinations, EVPs can cause hallucinations, carbon monoxide can cause hallucinations. So I started buying all the diagnostic equipment that we could rule out natural phenomena prior to playing with the gadgets and to see if we could actually contact any spirits.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, man, because I've had a few. I haven't had any like cryptid encounters myself. I haven't seen like Dogman or Bigfoot or something. But even just yesterday is the first time something's happened to me for a long time. Very odd. I was telling the people in my group chat for the podcast. Shout out! Let's go ahead and shout out Jim from the Night's Watch. A shout out Daniel Cahoon from Magical Journey Podcast. Pam, Jenny, Mike. All the people over there, what's up? Shout out to my crew. So I was my girl. I was telling you actually, oddly enough, in the green room, my girlfriend came home and she was like, "Hey, let's go get a couple beers." And I was like, "Okay." We go up to the corner store here in Mexico on the corner. It's called Six, not Seven. Six is where you get your beer, and it's got a gated off front, so because there's women working inside, and it's always it can be sketchy at certain times of night. And we're like doing this thing where we're paying for it. She puts some money. I say, "Here, took my wallet. I put the money in the wallet. I'm paying the lady, so the change." I'm about to grab the stuff, and I feel on the back of me, Lee. It felt like someone tugged on my shirt twice, like a fish would bite on your rod. And I looked over. There was a gentleman to my right, left on the screen. He was, about a meter away, 3 feet away. And "Hey, what's up, Angel?" And he was too far away and wouldn't do it. And then I asked her, I said, "Did you touch me?" And she goes, "No." And I swear, something tugged on my shirt, like down too. Not like there's nothing there. There's nothing there to do it. It's just and I wasn't scared, which is weird. Normally that would scare somebody, but for me, it was more like, what was that? It's such a weird thing to try to contextualize, especially to put it in under the umbrella of scientific knowledge, isn't it? It's very difficult.
Absolutely. And we can't obviously call somebody a liar for what they say that they've seen, because it's all down to personal experience. You and I could be stood next door to each other. I can see something or I can hear something, and you don't see or hear it at all.
True.
So, you know, I'm not the liar because I know what I experienced, and that's the respect that you've got to give people to be taken seriously. You know, because there's so much ridicule and like attacking in this world that when you talk to people that have had these phenomena and these experiences, it's them that have had that experience. You know, you weren't there, you don't know what happened, so you can't call that person, you know,
XYZ, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to give them that respect.
Right.
If you want to have a successful podcast.
Well, not just that, man, because like you might have an experience they never had. Maybe you want whale watching and you've seen a big humpback whale come out of the water or an orca or something. And you're like, it was incredible. And they're like, yeah, whatever. They weren't there. You know, you felt like
Exactly.
like a toy in the bathtub in this huge ocean. But that same person that said, oh yeah, to you could have had a paranormal experience, and you're back to them. Oh yeah. So that's what's missing a lot nowadays is that mutual respect. Remember, across from you is another member of the species, and the way they experience life may not be the way you've experienced life. So you have to put yourself in their shoes and walk a mile first and realize that they're just you in a different avatar. You know what I mean?
That's it. And I spent 25 years in the emergency services, so I've seen people at their worst.
Right.
So, you know, if someone says, my leg hurts because I've fallen off my push bike or whatever, you can't say, well, okay, I don't believe you. Because,
right.
Because you have to take that word as gospel.
All right. So you guys sat down, you had this idea that you wanted to go through it in the correct way, and I imagine correctly means it falls under the umbrella of the 7-step scientific method, testing hypothesis and then see if you can recreate it. So you got this equipment. So what did you start doing? Are you doing these investigations in Canada, and how do you go about looking into it, and what preparation goes into it?
So Canada is a little bit of a strange beast because
we know.
I'm
American, dude. We know.
Hey, I've got dual citizenship. I'm good. But a lot of the locations that you can pay to play, so to speak, are government buildings. So they either cost a lot of money or they're very difficult to get into. So unlike the USA that's got haunted buildings coming out of the yin yang, we have a few that and the same with the US, with the country being so vast, they're not all on your doorstep. So it's not unusual for us to drive 2 hours for an investigation. And if you're doing that and you're coming back at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, it turns into a really long night. So we haven't done many private locations, but most of them have been public venues that we've been able to hire. So the fact that we say we'd like to check everything first from a scientific point of view is not always possible, because if you're paying to go to a location, you don't want to be walking around that place for 2 hours doing your baseline observations and checking for drafts. So you kind of have to shorten it a little bit and go straight into the correct investigation procedures that we all know and love.
Okay, so go ahead and lay those out for me. What are the correct investigative procedures? I'm somebody who doesn't know. I'm new to the show. Tell me, man, how does that go?
Well, as we've already mentioned, that each story is for that individual. If we have, just for example, people say, oh, these doors, they move by themselves. So one of the things that we will do, we have a anemometer that checks for drafts and for wind. So we'd put that near the door to make sure there's no big way that the wind can come and blow it. I've actually got a spirit level that I carry in my kit. So I'll put it on the door to make sure that the door is hung correctly, to make sure that it's not just free opening and closing by itself. Make sure that the screws are not loose. If people are saying that they're experiencing apparitions, I will go around with my EMF reader, and it's not a K2. I do prefer to use a tri-field because it's more of an accurate device. And then you can see if there's any high levels of EMF, which potentially could cause the hallucinations. If we know that there isn't any EMF, then we'll check with the black mold detector to see if there's any black mold in the vicinity.
Okay.
And the same with carbon monoxide. So we go through all the rational explanations first, and then we kind of get the gadgets out to see if we can actually communicate with spirits.
Okay, so what has been your experience? Now, I do kind of know that these things are somehow connected to the electromagnetic spectrum, and whatever way that is, or what the meanings of that, what that entails, or what the implications of that are, I don't think we're quite sure to even come out and speak upon that because we just simply don't know. But I'd imagine too, if you're in a location, you want to make sure that maybe the power's off. You probably want to make sure that your cell phone is on what do they call it, airplane mode, things of that nature, to make sure you're not getting any false signals. And is that also another part of it that you're checking into?
Yeah, so you're absolutely correct with cell phones, and we always try, no matter what we're doing, that we do have a base station away from where we're investigating, because we basically have an MBR that's got like 6 cameras. So all phones will stay close to the base station if possible. So all the phones are on airplane mode. We don't use walkie-talkies because they can activate some of the equipment and give you false positives. A perfect example, we went to a location last July, and there was numerous talk of electrical things happening or hallucinations or strange things happening in this particular room. But when I checked on the tri-field measuring the electromagnetic field, it was going really high, going off the scale. And then we determined that the building was so old. This was like a three-story building, and we were on the top floor. The apartment below was identical laid out.
Okay.
So we determined that because the EMF was so high, it was due to faulty wiring or old wiring giving off EMF. So we couldn't say 100%, but we could kind of say, well, potentially that is caused by the fact that there's extremely high EMF in this room.
Wow.
So we kind of do that, and we try to rule out as much, like I said, natural phenomena as possible. Sometimes it's not easy because you've also got that people are looking into iron in the ground. And if you've got drink stream water and it's got that blood taste to it, there's a good chance that there could be iron nearby. So there's a lot of talk about iron in the ground or other metals can also be A, affecting your equipment, or B, could be making people feel ill. It's not of a paranormal nature. It's a natural phenomena, but like I say, it's not always easy to test
distinguish
everything.
Yeah. Exactly. So when you get when you get something that is unexplainable, some of the things that has just been, because you always hear, I've had many paranormal investigators or things of that nature on it, when sometimes they'll run across something that is just so odd, no matter how often they try to debunk it, it doesn't work. What occurrences, or what things have you run across that you just cannot explain for whatever reason?
So a simple one for us. In June, we came across the border to a small place in New York State called Casanova, and there's a lovely, quaint hotel that's got loads of history and loads of paranormal activity. And we were setting the cameras up, and there was, as you get in most hotel rooms, TV on a cabinet. And now this cabinet had got a couple of doors at the front of it, and as we're setting up the cameras, this door just creaked open. So we thought, okay, didn't think anything of it, but then we thought, wait, let's not be so hasty. So to rule that out, we actually tried to debunk it. So for the next half an hour, rather than setting up the equipment, we were putting the latch back into place. We were banging the side of the cabinet. We were jumping up and down on the floor. We were trying to do everything to replicate that door opening. And after half an hour, we could not get that door to open again. And we were putting the latch as close to coming off as possible, and we still couldn't get it to redo it. It was really quite tight.
Right.
So all the banging and all the knocking that we were doing would not make this door open again. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine there's things. Have you ever heard any disembodied voices? Because those I've heard those 3 times in my life, and it's never been the Beatles in my ear or something like that. It's always been a little bit unnerving. Have you ever experienced that?
So we haven't really. Well, I haven't heard anything live, so to speak. But when I've been reviewing the audio, the very first investigation that we did as a threesome, we went to an old jail that's about an hour drive away from Ottawa. And you've got the corridor, you've got the reception area of the jail. It's been closed about 25 years now. And if you go to the left, you go down some stairs and some other parts of the prison. If you go to the right, there's a small cell block area like solitary confinement. And if you go straight down about 30 or 40 foot down this corridor and turn left, you go into an area that is called the Hell's Angel Wing. And there were 6 cells on one side, and then the metal tables and chairs that you normally see in prisons if you've ever had the opportunity, and they was on the right hand side. Pitch darkness. I'm there by myself, and I'm literally talking, if there's anybody here, please make a sign, make a sound, all this kind of stuff. And like I say, I did not hear it live, but when I was reviewing it, I heard, as soon as I said, I would very much appreciate that, i.e. if you could make a sound, I heard a double breath straight after.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, played it back again. Yeah, and that double breath was just there. So I sent it to the 2 guys, and they went, yeah, we can definitely hear something. So I'm lucky enough to have a couple of friends that are specialists in audio. They, one of them works for a music studio, that kind of thing. So they know how to break down audio. And one of them actually broke it down to the point of doing voice waves. And he went, yeah, this is your voice wave. This is a double breath on 2 different frequencies. That was not you. And people go, well, it might have been you breathing. It's like, dude, I was a paramedic for over 10 years. I know how people breathe. You don't talk and then just go at the end of it. It's not how normal people breathe. So we didn't say that, okay, that was a ghost or that was a disembodied voice. We just put unexplained pile. And then unfortunately, that pile's getting bigger and bigger.
I was people who know the channel, I bought some property out here in the middle of the jungle. Literally, I bought 4 hectares in the middle of here in Yucatan Peninsula. They were never going to lock me down again, bro. Let's put it that way. There's nobody locking me down. That's why I left Europe. I lived in Germany for 20 years, so I've been to Europe, all over Europe, except for England. I did fly into Heathrow one time, and I smoked a cigarette outside, so I I considered that England. They let me out without going through customs, just to smoke.
Yeah.
Some really cool dude. He's like, "Hey, get out there, you freaking Yank! Get out there!"
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm out there. Yeah. Get out and then get back on the plane and get out of my country. Fair enough. And so I'm just out there one night sleeping, and I'm out underneath like a tin roof. It's all screened in because of the mosquitoes here will literally eat you alive. Literally, there's 5 different types here that I've personally seen. And I go to bathroom about 3 a.m, Lee, and I lay back in my hammock, and I'm just about to go to sleep. And right here in the side of my left ear, it felt like I literally could feel someone breathing and talking in my ear. And as a natural reaction, I just swung at somebody because it's on this side. I could just reach over. And it's a very unnerving thing to hear in the middle of the jungle at night. But this place, the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, is, Mayan country. There's still ruins that are yet to be discovered because the forests are still up. I mean, there's pyramids here, witches, Day of the Dead. I mean, it's just one of those places. And when I heard that, it's not really a question. It's kind of a remark. It's just one of those really unnerving things, man.
Yeah. And what made it even more interesting was about 3 months later, we went back to the same location with another team. And in the same room that the first experience happened, Logan was sat right against the back wall, so he was about 30 foot away from me. Volta, who on the audio you can actually hear talking, he was sat halfway between me and Logan. And I like to walk around and just watch my back kind of thing. And I went into the corridor, and when I do an investigation, I've got a body cam, I've got a handheld, and then I've got a handheld audio as well. And I walked out into the corridor. You can see me turning to the right. You can see that there's nothing down the corridor. And as I turned to come back in again, Volta's still talking. And this was not live that I heard it. I heard it on review. I just kind of got it happened twice. And it's like I say, so I've had 2 unexplained EVPs in the same location, in the same building, within 3 months of each other.
Right.
And again, I sent that to a friend, and he analysed it, and he went, you haven't tampered with it. It wasn't added afterwards. We cannot explain what that noise was. And
yeah, it's one of those weird things. It's so unnerving to hear it. I mean, there was another time out there, but this was farther away after I seen a light on the wall, and it's like a muffled, like, and it's okay. I'm a fluent German speaker, English speaker, of course, and I'm working on my Spanish, and I know the syntax and the sound and the rhythm of those languages. Okay, and of course I can recognize French if I hear it, or Russian. Being in Europe, you hear everybody, and it is none of those. But I have heard Mayan. I've heard the Mayan language spoken. That's my next language I'm tackling after Spanish. There's courses here and things like that. I just want to. It's so cool. I want to learn it, and it was like, I don't know what this is, and I just, like, I don't know who you are, in my mind, but I'm not here to bother anyone. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to improve the land, because they have a thing here called Alushas, which are like, they created like homunculus kind of like 7 or a couple week or 7-day ritual. I always get those mixed up, where it's like corn, mud, blood, sacrifice, talking. God, that's what the Mayans did to protect their corn. So, and they're here. It's like, they're like little cherubs, like little 3 foot tall, Buddha bellied, like people with black hair, kind of like a smushed down Mowgli. if you know the Jungle Book, the smushed down. Yeah, kind of like that. And so these, and you hear about this all the time, and I just haven't had the chance. I've just been trying to catch up after changing my entire life, moving here. But I'm going to be going out looking for these things, and they scare me more than seeing an apparition, more than poltergeist, any of those things. And I'm kind of looking forward to it, but also there's a tingling in my fingers as I say that. Do you ever get like, does something put your hair on end when you're out doing your investigations? Has something happened in the moment where I know you're going back and you're reviewing your audio and your video and you're checking things out. But is this something that's happened in the moment other than maybe the door opening where you're just like, you're like, oh my God, you know that? Has that happened to you?
Yeah, and it's really funny you should say that, because about a year ago, I got asked to help a friend out that was doing a public investigation, and he was doing it at another jail. And he's a big guy, like twice the size of me. And he goes, yeah, I don't like going to death row by myself because it freaks me out. Do you want to come and keep me company? So it's like a bit of a road trip. Yeah. So I asked the wife to see if she wanted to go, because we wanted to do an investigation at that place like the beginning of this year, which we did. And I took my camera with me, and he'd given me a guided tour. And I went into one room, and it was a small room, maybe about 20, 30 foot deep and about 15 foot wide. And I'm just walking around with my camera, and as I turn, I get this stroke down the side of my face.
Oh. Oof.
And I'm like, okay. So my immediate logic reaction, spider web, yeah, something hanging from the ceiling, which is all good and well until you realise that the walls had been recently whitewashed, decorators' boards and decorators' blankets are on the floor.
Okay.
Cans of paint in the corner. The smell of fresh paint. And when I asked my buddy, he went, "Oh yeah, the decorators were in this afternoon, doing some painting." So that immediately rules out spider and cobwebs, because they would have
been cleared,
cleaned.
Right?
Exactly. So yeah, could I explain what that was? No, only I felt it. But when we actually did our investigation, we had a medium come over from somewhere near New York. Oh, yeah, I'm from England. I don't do American states. I know that it's all one big one. And she
You mean to tell me they weren't from Cornwall or Worcestershire or some shit?
yeah, that one, yeah. And I think it was like Cleveland she was from, or somewhere like that. Anyway,
Okay.
And she was I'm walking around with her. We came to that room, and I never told her what had happened. And she went, and there was a gate on it by this time. It's like a few months later, padlock gate, so we couldn't go in, but you can still see through it. And she went, "Oh, there's a guy stood in that room just looking at us." And I went, "Well, what's he doing?" "Oh, he just stood there looking at what we're doing." So I went, "Okay. Is he doing anything to interact with you?" She went, "No, he just like stood there watching us." So yeah, was it this same guy that ran his hand down my face? Maybe. I can't explain it. I can't disprove it.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I've heard before where people when something happens right before, they say it feels like you're walking through a spider web. I think of
Yes.
Oh yeah, by the way, a shout out to Sin Schrader Hill. She got us in contact with one another. Want to go ahead and Pam, if you get a chance, Pam, do me a favor and pull up her Elk Valley Paranormal so we can go ahead and give her some love. She's actually said that. Yeah, Sin.
Yeah.
And she just had a birthday. A happy birthday to you, Sin, once again. She just turned, I don't know, 25 or something like that. I'm smarter than I look, Lee. So tell me about this podcast, man. What's the show about, and what do you do over there?
So I was toying with the idea all last year of doing a podcast, and I'd been on a podcast, and I didn't felt as though it had run as smoothly as what I like. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I think I could do better. So I was toying with the idea. I mentioned it to the guys, and they both went, "Yeah, we haven't really got time to do that, so have at it." So, okay. So I've got a friend who lives in Montreal, which is 2 hours away. He's been doing a couple of podcasts for a couple of years, so I reached out to him, explained what I want to do. So we got the kind of basis that I wanted to do something obviously connected to the paranormal. So rather than just stick to one subject like ghosts or UFOs or cryptids, I googled the word paranormal, and I don't know if you've ever done it, and I recommend it to your listeners. Just Google the word paranormal because there is so many different subsections of all this different paranormal stuff. So I thought to myself, well, if I want to do a job properly, I have to speak to people of all different walks of life that have connected to the paranormal. So, yeah, I've had UFO investigators. I spoke to Preston Bennett a couple of weeks ago, who is quite big in the UFO world, and he was abducted. And he was telling me about his abduction. I've spoken to people that, yeah, have seen fairies. I've spoken to people about out of body experiences, and it absolutely fascinates me that all these individual stories. And if you don't know about the paranormal, or you just think it's ghosts, or you just think it's you, to hear some of the stories that these people come out with, it's absolutely fascinating because if I'm saying something to somebody and then I get a jaw-dropping moment, it's kind of like, wow, you've made an impression on me.
Let's go ahead and read it. Let's go ahead and read it. So, paranormal, according to the wonderful and always perfect wiki links, paranormal events are purported phenomena described in popular culture, folklore, and other non-scientific bodies of knowledge. Interesting. Whose existence within these contexts is described as being beyond the scope of normal scientific understanding. Notable paranormal beliefs include those that pertain to extrasensory perception, so telepathy, and the pseudosciences of ghost hunting, cryptozoology, and ufology. Thank you, Wikipedia. You know everything.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to do with that, Lee, is give some credence to what you are doing, man. So we are going, or if Lee, if I can be in S.I.P.A for a moment, we are going and we are trying our very best in the best possible way to recreate or to record or somehow collect data in which it can be seen scientifically. So I think everyone has had, for some way or some reason or rhyme, you've had a strange dream. You've had what's that called, sleep paralysis or something, which I've had also, or something strange in a weird dream that you dreamt one day and it happened, or that you've seen and you think it's deja vu and you don't remember it's a dream. There's always something strange. We just don't talk about it. And just for the wonderful Wikipedia to come through and say it's all pseudoscience, it's just another way, because you have to remember, Lee, people love to like say specific words and now they have specific meaning. One of my favorite ones is toxic masculinity. So now if you're a dude, you're toxic all of a sudden. So it's what they do. They want to box you in a corner and tell you this is what you are. And I think it's ridiculous, personally.
Yeah. And I know a lot of these scientists, are black and white and there's no gray areas.
And paid off, some of them.
Exactly. But if that's the case, how come so many different people can have so many different experiences that cannot be explained?
Right.
It's not mass hysteria. Because you've got ufology, you've got cryptozoology, you've got ghosts and spirits, and you've got other different parts of the paranormal world.
Right.
Everybody has their own stories. You cannot say that every single person, like I said at the beginning of the show, is a liar, because they're all experiencing it. So something must be going on.
Correct.
But we can't prove what it is, because we can't get a ghost or a spirit into a scientific laboratory to do tests on them.
Yeah, it's impossible to do because it's very random. It's very when you least expect it kind of thing. And the worst is when you do expect it and it does come. That's probably scarier, honestly. I'd rather be unexpected. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, that's it. This same location that we had the cupboard door opening, we were there for 2 nights, and we had done late into the night on both occasions. So it's probably about 2 a.m. We were driving back the next morning, so we thought we'd better get our heads down and get some sleep. And I'm in an old-fashioned 4-poster bed absolutely dream of a hotel. And I I got into bed and I pulled the old blankets over me. And for all those people that have used blankets before, once you've got comfortable, you feel like the blankets settle. There was a space there, the weight of the blankets moved. And so I felt that happen, didn't think anything of it. And then I'd only been in bed like a minute at the most, 2 minutes maximum. I felt a really heavy sensation on the bed, like somebody had sat on the bed. It wasn't the blankets, it was just a heavy sitting sensation.
Mm.
So that opened my eyes. I thought one of the guys had come into the room and I hadn't heard the door. And then with that, I saw a white apparition going past the side of the bed.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Only I saw it. So I like to think what I saw was real. I wasn't tired. I hadn't been dreaming because I've literally been in bed for 2 minutes. And I was on somebody's podcast and they went, so what did you do after that? I went, once it disappeared, I turned over and went to sleep.
Right. What are you supposed to do? Yeah. That's the thing.
Oh my God.
We don't trust the nature of our own experiences a lot of time because we've been conditioned to say, oh, this is BS, or, it's all in your mind and all those kind of things. We have a nice comment. Unreal Real Estate Agent has been crazy in the chat. Thank you for your contribution. Let's see if we can say something to this. I've heard it's all wrapped up into one on some level somehow, even if seemingly not, or actually not at the same time. Rules are different in other existences in possibility. I don't know what that's some grammar errors there. It's really funny too because I teach grammar now. I'm an English tutor, and I'm using a grammar book from England. And you guys use some weird words. You guys say, "What do you do at weekends?" At weekends. On the weekend. No, I have no problem. I'm just, when I'm teaching my students, they go, is that the way you guys say it? I go, that's not the way we say it.
Okay. If we're gonna start bullying each other, why do you North Americans go, I'm going to bring that here? No, you take it away and you bring it back. Sort of like, oh, I'm going to take that here. No, you're not. You're going to bring it here. So come on.
Take that here. I don't think I've ever heard it. I don't know what circles you're running in, Lee, but it might be some Canadian stuff. But us here in the red, white, and blue, and also the green, white, and red of Mexico, we don't talk that way. We don't talk that way whatsoever. Yeah, so it is all kind of connected somehow. I mean, if you listen to people who've had, cryptid encounters of Bigfoot nature, a lot of times, if you look where it's located on which day they seen it, you also look into it, and you also see somewhere around within a 10-kilometer area, you will find some type of UFO type situation or some type of UAP, whatever you want to call it, in the sky, and you also hear how would you say, a raised level of paranormal activity at the same time. I don't know what it is, and I will never claim to know unless there's some, exact way of measuring this. But it does all seem to be connected somehow, doesn't it?
It does, and you're absolutely right, because there's a mountain in your neck of the woods that's got really high UFO activity. I can't remember what it is. I've not been to Mexico, so I can't remember what it's called. But they also have paranormal activity close by. So, you do get some kind of commonality between locations. But again, it's one of those things that we can't explain. When people talk about UFOs and things, and people go, "Oh no, it's complete BS." It's like, well, if you think that we're the only species on a small ball in a small universe, and when you've got 100 million universes, and you think that we're the only species, how naive are you?
Extremely naive. I would think that would be I think that's a stranger remark than to say that it doesn't exist is stranger than saying it does, in my mindset. Not to mention, you can say whatever you want to about the U.S. government. They're also, kind of weird and whatever. But they've kind of basically come out, actually, I know they did. I'd have to look it up exactly and said, yeah, they're real. It's real. And ghost, that that one's kind of been around forever. My grandmother's has ghost stories. Yeah, everyone's seen something somewhere. But the UFO one, I'm imagining you're in your late 40s, early 50s, right?
Sure, let's go with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna imagine. Okay, so am I being nice? Okay, that's good.
You are, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Fantastic. Do you remember? Hi, Bruce. Hey, Bruce Brown's here, guys. His episode. One quick little run. His episode coming out next Tuesday is one for the ages, guys. You need to see this episode. You can get it now and become a member and see it. We're talking about. Okay, I'll give you a quick one. Check this out. There's a quick story. I'll give it to you. This is the main concept of the podcast. He told me a lot of crazy stuff, but the one that really got my juices flowing. So he was a law enforcement agency in Tennessee. One of these Bigfoot got hit by a car, right? Broke both of its legs. It's over on the side of the road, like balled up. They're like, what do we do? What do we do? A government agency came, and we're talking, black van, sedan, darkened windows with the glasses, Men in Black. Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith were there. Will Smith wanted to slack Chris Rock, but Chris Rock wasn't there that time. And I'm a comic too. And yeah, and all of it. So they were like, okay, we got this. No big deal. So he went to follow up on the report. No reports were ever made. The guy disappeared, the government agency disappeared, and the Bigfoot disappeared. And he's like, what the hell's going on? So go ahead and check that out, guys. That is coming up this Tuesday. Bruce Brown, thank you so much, man. That was a fantastic episode. Yeah, so these things, because being a human, right, there's this thing where we want to know, which is for me a lot of times where religion comes from. We just want, what is this? I live in this meat suit and now I just work at Burger King until I'm 60. What is this? So we want to know what the world is around us. So a lot of times we tend to make up stories. I'm not picking on religion or anything like that. I'm just saying in particular, oh, it was my grandmother. She was there for me. And people have experienced that. And you have to take them seriously in that. There's some people we do know they can be melodramatic. I'm one of them, and I'm sure you'd be everyone's melodramatic about something, the big fish they caught, whatever it may be. But we have to listen to them. And I think, how do we go forward from here? What is the step forward from here to legitimize, in your opinion, of course, to legitimize paranormal research and cryptozoology and all that, other than, because for me, I'm convinced that Bigfoot is real. Every time people say no, I show them the Patterson-Gimlin film and I show them the leg wiggling. There's no suit in the world, especially in the late 60s, that could do that. Even if you're, a Planet of the Apes fan, what is our step forward into giving this some kind of legitimacy? Well,
the fact that you've mentioned Planet of the Apes, I'm assuming you're talking about the original one. So that shows my age, my friend.
Oh, so how old are you then? Lee, you want to tell me? Just go ahead and say it, man.
I was a big 6-0 this year.
Oh, wow. You made that's good, man.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a very difficult question to answer.
Sure it is. I'm just trying to tease apart what your feelings are about it. Okay? I understand it's a difficult question to answer, and I don't mean to put you on the spot in any way.
No.
How do we legitimize? Because there's a lot of these shows. Like one I used to like a little bit was called Twin Paranormal, until they tattoo themselves half to death, and every 2 seconds, and it just kind of bugs me a little bit. It's like, if it's something real, and they've caught some good evidence too. I'm not going to lie, they've caught some real good evidence, but there's these shows that you watch that are just, come on, man. And that being an investigator, it's not like that every time. I have Austin Lawrence on here from the Dead Chronicles. He's like, they're faking it. And he goes, no, dude, this is the way you do it. If you watch his show, it's completely different, dude. So what do we do? What do we do to make it legitimized?
So, I was talking to somebody in California a few weeks ago, and she basically said to me, you debunk everything far too easily. So what she basically means, if you see something out the corner of your eye, but when you look it disappears, it doesn't mean that something wasn't there. It just means that it noticed you turning your head and disappeared. So if a lot of people are more open with not their feelings, but their senses, so to speak, and actually try to understand more, this is going to sound really stupid, try to understand more about the unknown, then I think we'd get a lot more concrete evidence.
Mm.
But in this world, the way it is today, people want everything now.
Mm.
They want answers straight away, and they can't get them. So if you actually took a step back and thought about what you've just seen or what you've just heard, and you actually record that evidence, I think there'd be a lot more genuine like results rather than people just go, "Oh yeah, I was tired," or "It was a
Right.
book," or whatever. And I think we need to be a lot more, not necessarily open with our feelings, but open with our senses. And then I think that way we'd get a lot more like compelling evidence.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Pam killed it right here. And this is I'm going to go ahead and take and say what you said and contextualize it, and the way I would present what you said, which I really like what you said. I would say you need to be more in touch with yourself. You know what I mean? Like instead of always thinking about the next thing you're going to be doing and being outside of your senses. You know what I mean? Instead of like projecting into the future or projecting in the past, live in the moment. And once you live in the moment, you open yourself up to a different reality. Remember, like things like tree and wall, these are just words, dude, that we use to describe something. But the wall doesn't know it's a wall. It's its own thing, dude. You know what I mean? It doesn't have, it doesn't know it's a wall or something living. A tree doesn't know it's a tree. It's just doing a tree thing, bro. And when you just put yourself in that moment and you see the world around you and like go within, a lot of things will open up for you. And therefore you are in your senses and can recognize the things that you might be seeing instead of pushing them to the side and worrying about going to the mall tomorrow, whatever that may be that you're thinking about doing. That's the way I think about it.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And the girl that I was speaking to a few weeks ago, she said to me, "So you see spirits?" And I went, "I don't think I do." And she went, "Don't bullshit me." She was like, "But just be honest." And I went, "I don't think that." She went, "You have, but you debunk them far too easily, and you just like, oh yeah, that was whatever." And she goes, "You need to start opening up. You need to start heightening your senses, and then you'll see more, you'll hear more, and you'll have a much better experience."
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people. I think if you just to kind of get to like the culture that's going around now, the culture, there's a lot of words that they use for culture. But if you want to go ahead so that I can conceptualize it for people to understand the lingo that's being used today to kind of change our thought processes and our theta waves or alpha waves being awake. So what they do is they try to put you in a certain mindset. And if you can go ahead and remember that you are not that, then what happens is a lot of things open up for you. A lot of things open up for you. You get more in touch with yourself. You get more. Thank you. This is another Lee, another Hatfield is another Mr. Hatfield. Hatfield Films, guys, go over and check it out. I just had his website up. Thank you so much for your comment, buddy. Michigan Stan, man, you guys are incredible. Yeah, it's just that I think the world is. People want to say it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy, man. I think the world is just fine. I think what's happening is that the box is open now and we can look inside and see all the goodies and realize that the goodies are also outside of the box. And I think they're doing everything within their power to put that genie back in the lamp. And if we can just go ahead and open our hearts and minds and try to love one another the way you're supposed to love yourself first, and then you can love others. And when you love yourself, you automatically love others. So go ahead and do that as well.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm a 6 foot tall. I'm a former U.S. Army soldier myself. Okay. I did 4 years active duty U.S. Army. So you're a military from the Royal Air Force?
Sorry. Royal Air Force. Yeah. I'm sorry. The Air Force. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Royal Air Force versus United States Army. A little bit different.
Yeah.
But you guys kick a lot of butt too. You guys kick a lot of butt.
You spend the weekend in a field. We spend the weekend in a hotel. What's the difference?
Oh, the Air Force and the U.S. military had the best stuff. Like we had to go out and run in the mornings. Those jokers got to sit on like stationary bikes and then get their physical training test that way. Put someone like, oh, he's breathing well. Look at his blood circulation. And meanwhile, I'm out there and there's tree branches hitting me in the head, shit. So it's not the same. So, dude, let me ask you a question. What's next for S.I.P.A, man? What do you guys have coming up? Have you been on any shows? Weren't you on? Maybe it's a different one. Weren't you guys on like on a different platform or something like that? Did I miss anything? Or
we've the platform that we're on is the one that we've always been on. We have been on a couple of these kind of things. We've been on a few shows like that have been live, and because I'm the unofficial press officer, it's like, yeah, you can do it, Lee, you'll be fine. Like there's one over on the West Coast, and I think it was in Vancouver. It started at like midnight my time. So the guys go, oh yeah, you can do it. It's a 2-hour show. So we have got a few investigations coming up. We have got something in the pipeline that we can't tell anybody just yet. It's one of those hush things. But if it does come to fruition, then hopefully that'll be quite big for us. I'm coming towards the end of season 1 of the podcast, but I've already got enough people either booked to record interviews like yourself, funnily enough.
Yes,
I've already got recorded, into January. But I've already got enough guests, mostly people that want to come back in. So if I didn't get any more and I recorded all of them, I'd be good up until like March. Like I say, we have been on a couple of radio stations recently. We did an investigation with a local radio station.
Oh, wow, good.
In Ottawa, so that was good fun. Apart from that, we're just trying to get our name out there and just to go from strength to strength, really.
Oh, great. Well, okay, one more time, tell the people the name of your podcast and where they can find it.
So it's the S.I.P.A Paranormal Chronicles. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever they're called, because I'm not an Apple person, and all the normal places. Yeah,
I don't like fruit.
Yeah, yeah, all the normal places where you can get your podcast. But like I say, I always send the YouTube link to people because it's got the video and you can see the interaction. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I got you here on Apple. Thank you, Jenny, so much for your help. Here you are. Here's Lee's S.I.P.A Paranormal Chronicles with Lee Hattield on Spotify. So you can go ahead and just, there it is. You can see there's a link. You can either type it in, pause the show. Okay. And then you can type it into your browser and then you can go ahead and check it out and listen to what Lee and his guests have to say, man. So, okay. Next week I will be having on, so you guys are ready for it, I'm going to have Carter Bushart on. He was on an episode about a month ago, and he talked about his what do they call that when they go hypnotic regression, where he knows that he got abducted by aliens, and he just released a book called Bigfoot, Not Just a Dumb Ape, and we're going to come on and we're going to promote his book, and we're going to back Carter up next Friday. So thank you so much, Lee, for coming on, man. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on and talking about your experiences and the way you go about things, man. I appreciate that.
You're most welcome, and I look forward to speaking to you.
Okay. We're going to do some CIA stuff? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Spotlight, put your hands behind your back. We're going to ask you all those tough questions.
Yeah. You know, you could ask me something like, what did you do on August 14th, 1974? I'd be like, didn't exist. You're going to have to talk to God about that one because I don't know.
Thanks for that. I was 9, so let's not go there.
Oh, wow. All right. 74, you were 9. So you were born in 65.
Correct.
So you are then 6 years older than my mom. So you could be my dad. No, you couldn't, because that would be like 14 or something. No, 15 years old. But technically, Tom, I don't want to be reminded of my eventual demise. Anyhow, I appreciate it so much, man, and I can't wait to come on the show. I'm looking forward to it, buddy.
Okay, me too. Thanks a lot.
All right,
Take care.
Okay, so we are the I. We are aware. Love you all, and have yourself a wonderful weekend. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. You have been watching the Eye of Jupiter podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of your favorite interviews. And remember, we are the Eye, and we are aware.